You are about to see all of the audio gear that I use and recommend for filming a wedding. Literally everything, from the equipment that you need to record the sound of the couple getting ready in the morning, all the way through recording the ceremony with the officiant to the toast during the reception. When I say everything, I mean everything. Also, because I'm all about saving you time, I've created a free wedding filmmaker gear guide that's going to list all of this audio equipment in a handy PDF format for you to download. So you can click the link down in the description to download that gear guide for free. And considering that this is a video about audio, I'm going to link down in the description to the WhoisMatt audio pack that I made in collaboration with Condor Blue. We released this audio pack a short while ago, and in it you get 3 of the most important cables that you need for filming a wedding, plus a convenient carrying bag to keep them all organized. It's awesome, but I have a really big update for you today because both I and Condor Blue heard from many filmmakers saying, hey, this audio pack sounds really cool, but I already have some of those audio cables, so I don't really want to have to buy them again. So here's the big news. Condor Blue and I have worked together to enable you to purchase any of these cables or the organizer bag separately. So now you don't need to buy the whole pack if you don't want to. If you just want to buy an XLR or a 1/4 inch or an RCA cable individually, you can do that. Or if you already have all of those cables and you're like, Matt, I've already got all these cables that I need, and you're instead wanting a super convenient way to keep them organized, you can purchase just the bag to keep all of these cables inside separately as well. So with that in mind, I will link to where you can buy all of these cables individually, as well as the organizer bag down in the description below. And I think it's going to be super helpful to you as you film weddings. And I'll explain more about how these cables work when we talk about cables a bit later in this video. Anyways, let's talk about audio gear that you should use when filming a wedding. And the way that we're going to approach this is that I'm going to walk through a wedding day from beginning to end. So we're going to start off with a couple getting ready, and we're going to end at the reception, which should help keep you from getting lost or confused about where we are in this. Starting off with the beginning of the wedding day then, this is typically where you're going to be filming the couple getting ready. For the groom, putting on his suit and tie, and for the bride putting on her hair and makeup, you're not usually going to be needing a ton of audio equipment for this moment. You can usually get away with on-camera audio. But if you want to enhance your on-camera audio, I would recommend investing in a shotgun microphone, which will help give you more directionality to your audio recording, as well as reducing wind noise. If you use a Sony camera like me, I would highly recommend the Sony ECM B1M microphone, which can record directly into your camera's hot shoe and keep you from having to run an extra 3.5mm mic jack cable. This microphone is going to give you super clear audio. It has a ton of cool tricks, like enabling you to adjust how directional it is when it comes to recording audio. I love it, and I have a full review of it, which I will link to down in the video description. Alternatively though, if you do not have a Sony camera, in that case, I would look at the Rode VideoMic NTG, which, because this microphone has a 3.5mm mic jack, it's going to work with virtually any camera, and it sounds great. Next, after you have filmed the couple getting ready, this is where you're going to start breaking out other audio recorders, because this is typically when the bride or groom are going to read either letters that they've written, or they're going to be interviewed by you, etc. Or if they don't do that, they may just have a first look, and this is a moment where you're definitely going to want to have a microphone on them as well. Regardless of whether they read letters, or they be interviewed, or have a first look, or anything like that, from an audio perspective, it doesn't matter, because you're going to be using the same microphone and recorder for all of it. And that microphone and recorder that I recommend is the Tascam DR10L Pro. This is the successor to the extremely popular original DR10L, and it has been upgraded with Bluetooth so you can control it wirelessly from your phone, as well as 32-bit float audio recording technology, which essentially gives you a lot more leeway if someone is speaking too quietly or too loudly, because you're going to be able to bring up the volume levels if they're too quiet and bring them down if the audio starts to peak. And considering that you're filming a wedding where you are putting microphones on people that are not paid actors and most likely are not going to have any experience speaking on camera, a recorder capable of 32-bit float audio is really nice to have, which is why almost all of the audio recorders that I'm going to be recommending in this video are 32-bit float audio recorders. You're welcome. Anyways, I have a full review of the Tascam DR10L Pro that I will link to down below, but what you need to know for this video is that this recorder comes with a lavalier microphone right here, meaning that you do not have to purchase one separately, and all that you're going to have to buy is a memory card and a set of batteries for it. For a memory card, I would recommend a micro SD memory card in a 32 gigabyte capacity. Right here, not bad. And for batteries, I would get AAA lithium batteries. Personally, I like the Energizer lithiums. They work great. And by using lithium batteries, you're going to get approximately 28 hours of recording time. If you have a wedding over 28 hours long, wow, first of all, you've got me beat. My longest wedding was 19 hours. And as far as how many DR10L Pros you should buy, well, this is where things get a little crazy, because in a perfect world, I would recommend that you buy 6 of them. And I'm sure you may be thinking, Matt, you're crazy, but I have my reasons for recommending 6. And we're going to talk about it in just a minute. For now, let's talk about mounting these puppies. Regardless of whether the couple are reading letters or being interviewed or having their first look, you're going to mount these microphones all the same. If the groom is wearing a jacket, simply clip the microphone onto the lapel. They are called a lapel microphone after all. And then you can put the recorder into his jacket pocket or clip it onto his belt. Alternatively, for the bride, I always recommend putting a mic on the bride, and I realize that may be really intimidating for you if you've not done it before, but please do not stress. I have an entire video showing you exactly how to do it, and it's not nearly as hard as you may think, and the quality of audio you're going to be able to get from her by putting a mic on her is completely worth it, in my opinion. Now, to help you put a mic on the bride, I want you to know that Tascam does not sell a white version of the DR10L Pro, but what they do sell is a white lavalier mic. And that way, you have a nice white cable that's going to blend in with her dress, and I would highly recommend purchasing one of these white cables to use with the DR10L Pro so you can more easily hide it on a bride's white wedding dress. As far as where to put the audio recorder on the bride while she's wearing her dress, considering that most wedding dresses don't have pockets, it's a blessing when they do, right? But if they don't, that's okay, because to get around that, you're going to be using a thigh strap. Specifically, this one is from a company called Ursa Straps and works great because it's going to completely hide the black TR10L so it's not visible, and the white microphone cable is going to be sticking out of it and running up the dress, so it should work great. Watch my Miking the Bride video to see specifically how to use this. Now, do you remember how I said that I recommend you purchase 6 Tascam DR10L recorders? Why, Matt? Are you insane? Possibly. But if you film weddings for even a short while, you're going to come to appreciate the B word. The B word? Bridezilla? No, that is a good one. The B word is backups. And for a wedding, you need as many backups as possible because anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And especially whenever you're filming a wedding, which is a one-take event, and you do not get any do-overs. You cannot go up to the front of the ceremony and be like, excuse me, can you guys get married again? My audio recorder wasn't working. You don't really have the option for that. Because of that, I highly recommend having as many backups as possible, and that's why I recommend buying so many different audio recorders. So going back to filming the couple getting ready now, typically when I'm filming the bride or groom read a letter or being interviewed, I'm only going to put one Tascam DR10L audio recorder on them because I can look at the audio recorder, confirm that it's recording, put it on them, have it record, and then check immediately after and be like, okay, it's still recording, that means it recorded great. And worst case scenario, if it turned off for some reason, batteries died, etc., I could then have them do the interview or read the letter again. But once we get to the first look and the ceremony, etc., this is where I'm always going to recommend that you put 2 microphones on at least one of them if possible. This way, in the event that one of the microphones fails or runs out of battery or gets hit by a solar flare, it doesn't matter. Things break all the time. And whenever you have something like a first look where the couple is only going to have that sort of emotional reaction to seeing each other once, you want to make sure that you get good audio of it. Because of that, I will put 2 microphones on the groom for the first look. Just like I explained before, I will have one DR10L Pro clipped onto his lapel, and then I will have another one that I could put underneath his jacket or underneath his shirt as a backup in the event that things are windy, or maybe the bride and groom hug weird and she pulls the lav mic off. Believe me, crazy things can happen. So for the backup Tascam DR10L Pro microphone that I'm going to put on the groom, I always recommend putting that microphone underneath. And I'm sure you may be thinking, Matt, how do you mount that to him? Isn't it hard to do that with the lapel clip? And you would be correct. So to work around that, I don't use the lapel clip. Instead, you're going to want to invest in a pack of Rycoat stickies and overcovers. These are fantastic little accessories that you can use to mount a microphone pretty much anywhere. They will stick to fabric, they will stick to skin without being irritating. And so what you'll do is take the lapel clip off of your microphone, then stick it right onto one of the Rycoat stickies, stick that onto the inside of the Groom's jacket or shirt. These are fantastic little accessories that you can use to mount a microphone virtually anywhere. They will stick to fabric, they will stick to skin without being irritated. And so what I will do is take the lapel clip off of the microphone. We're going to pretend that I do that. Then we're going to take one of these Rycoat stickies right here. That's going to stick onto the lapel microphone. And then, see, it's pretty darn sticky there. Peel off the back, stick it onto the interior of the Groom shirt. We'll pretend that I've done that here. And what's great is that this microphone is now going to be protected from wind noise. Now for the overcovers, on the other hand, these are also fantastic as well, because with them, you get these little fuzzy discs that you can then place on top of the microphone. And I'm just going to peel it off here so we can see it better. And once you do that, it's kind of hideous, but that's why it goes underneath the jacket and is going to help prevent even more wind noise and work even better. This way, you have a backup source of audio that's always protected from wind, and in the event that one of your audio sources fails, you have another. For the bride, on the other hand, it's going to be enough work putting one microphone on her. So I would not push things by saying, hey, can I put 2 mics on you? I don't think you need to do that. Instead, just use one, and as a helpful tip for you, if you've not watched my bride miking video yet, these Rycoat stickies are going to pull double duty and are also going to be what you're going to use to attach the mic onto the bride's dress. So get a big bag of them. They're cheap. I think this was like a 100-pack. Highly recommend buying that, and then you're gonna have a ton of them and always have them with you. Moving on now, we have finally finished filming the couple getting ready and covering all of the gear that you're going to need for that. So it's now time to move on to the big enchilada of any wedding, the wedding ceremony. Remember how I just said that you only have one chance at a wedding to get things right and you don't get any do-overs? That mentality is no more encapsulated than during the ceremony, because you can really only get it right once. Because of that, we have even more audio recorders and more backups that we need to talk about, but let's start with those Tascam DR10L Pro recorders that we already talked about using earlier on the wedding day. Remember, I did recommend purchasing 6 of them, and at the ceremony is whenever you're going to see all of them in full effect. To start, you're going to want to have 2 DR10L Pro recorders on the Groom, one as the main and the other as the backup. Your third DR10L Pro recorder will be on the bride, and then we have 3 more DR10L Pro recorders. What are we doing with those? Well, just like with the Groom, you're going to want to put 2 of the DR10L Pro recorders on the Efficient. One is going to be the main recorder and the other will be the backup. And if the Efficient is wearing a suit with a jacket, you'll be able to put them on them the same way that you did the Groom. But if the Efficient is wearing robes or a dress, etc., in that case, you may need to get more creative and use the lapel clip or the Rycoat stickies to get the microphone and recorder mounted properly. For an Efficient wearing a dress in particular, I've had good luck clipping a Tascam to the back of their dress and then running the microphone cord around under their armpit to the front. It's really going to depend on what they're wearing. If you've been counting at this point, you've probably noticed that there's still one more DR10L Pro that has not been used yet, and you can really think of this last DR10L Pro as a backup for the backups, in case the wedding throws you a curveball. The reason you want this audio recorder and microphone is just in case the wedding ceremony has an additional person that will be speaking. You may laugh, but I have had multiple weddings in the past where the couple had 2 Efficients. One Efficient that was a friend that shared a message during the ceremony, and another Efficient that then stepped in and handled the vows and rings and all the formal stuff. Or you may have a ceremony where someone is doing a lengthy scripture reading that isn't the Efficient. In situations like this, having another spare audio recorder that you can run over and put on someone before they speak is only going to help you. And this is why I highly recommend having 6 of these audio recorders. We aren't done with the ceremony yet, because remember, I love backups, and most ceremonies, be it at a church or at a venue, as long as they're not an elopement out in the woods in the middle of nowhere, most ceremonies are going to have an amplified speaker system of some sort, as well as a soundboard. As a wedding videographer, it's going to be really important for you to have an audio recorder that you can plug into this soundboard as well, because oftentimes during the wedding ceremony, the couple have music playing that's important to them. They sometimes may have a string quartet that they want recorded, or they have other people speaking during the ceremony that have minor roles that you are not going to have enough individual recorders to put on them. So in this case, plugging into the soundboard at a venue is going to give you another backup. And this is going to help fill in any of those missing gaps that you may have for the ceremony. As I said earlier, my goal is to recommend 32-bit float audio recorders as often as possible in this video, and I'm happy to tell you that this next one is 32-bit float as well. This recorder is the Tascam X8, and it is an incredibly powerful audio recorder, with its main claim to fame being that it has 4, count them, combo XLR and 1/4-inch inputs, as well as detachable top microphones, which means that you can plug this recorder into virtually any soundboard, no matter what output it uses, and get great sounding audio. Now, we aren't done talking about this audio recorder because as it is, it doesn't work well unless you have accessories for it. And I'll cover the small accessories first, then the big ones. First, you're going to need a micro SD card to record audio, and just like the DR10L Pro, I would recommend a 32GB card. This will easily last you for multiple weddings, and it will work great. In addition, you're also going to need batteries, and I recommend lithium batteries because they will last significantly longer. As an alternative though, the X8 is powered by USB-C. So if you want to use an external USB-C power bank, or you just want to plug it into a wall outlet, you can do that as well. Lastly, for small accessories, I would highly recommend investing in a cheap pair of headphones. You do not need to go super fancy with this. You do not need a set of over-ear headphones. Just buy a cheap set of earbuds. There's some Sonys that I recommend that I've used for years, but I lost recently. So now I've been using these Apple earbuds. Remember back when they came in the box and they were wired? Well, this is feeling old, right? But hey, it works, okay? Because the main purpose of these headphones is just so you can plug them into your audio recorder and confirm that the audio is recording properly. We're not listening for fidelity here. We're just like, okay, is that the right audio? And it's recording? Okay, great. This is actually really important, by the way, because you do not want to just plug your audio recorder into a soundboard and then see some waveforms and you're like, oh, looks good to me. Let's hit record and go. Because there's no guarantee that the waveforms that you're seeing are actually the audio that you need to record. Fun fact, I actually plugged into a soundboard once in my second year of filming weddings, and I did not check the audio, and I assumed that it was recording properly, but whenever I got home, I realized that I'd actually recorded an entire collection of Michael Bublé's greatest hits that were playing quietly over the speakers during the ceremony, and I did not get any audio of the actual wedding ceremony. So, do you see why I like backups? Yeah, buy some headphones. Now, let's talk about the big accessories. And these are really important because if you just have the audio recorder, you have no way of plugging it into a soundboard. So what do you need? Cables. And what cables do I recommend? Well, if you saw the start of this video, you already know where I'm going with this. I partnered with my friends at Condor Blue, and we came out with the WhoisMatt audio pack. And this includes the 3 cables that you are going to need, as well as a handy organizer bag that's going to keep everything properly sorted. If you are just getting started filming weddings, I would recommend purchasing the entire pack. But if you've been filming weddings for a while and you already have some of these cables, I'm so happy to tell you that you can purchase them individually as well. So if you just need an XLR to XLR cable, or you just need an XLR to 1/4-inch cable, or just an XLR to RCA, you can buy those individually. Or if you already have all of these cables and you're just wanting a way to keep them organized with a very high quality bag, you can now buy this bag separately as well. These cables are incredibly high quality. They have a lifetime warranty. So if they break, Condor Blue will replace them for free. And specifically, let's talk about these 3 audio cables here for a minute, because they also happen to coincide with the 3 main audio outputs that you're going to come across at 99% of weddings. Most soundboards are going to have an XLR output on them. You're going to be able to plug your cable into this XLR output, and then you're going to run the cable to your X8 recorder and plug it in like so, and it's going to work great. So the first cable that I recommend you purchase is at least a 6-foot XLR to XLR cable. Next, some soundboards are going to have all of their XLR outputs taken by speakers. So in that case, you're going to want a 1/4-inch to XLR cable. And you're going to plug the 1/4-inch into the soundboard XLR into your audio recorder. Lastly, some soundboards are not going to have quarter inch, but they will have an output labeled record out or tape out, and those outputs are going to use an RCA cable. So you'll plug the RCA cable into the soundboard and the XLR into your recorder. And there you have it. As long as you have these 3 audio recorders, you're going to be covered when it comes to plugging into virtually any soundboard at a wedding. This is why I made the WhoisMatt audio pack with Condor Blue, because it's going to cover you for all of these situations. And like I said, the audio pack of individual cables and organizer bag is linked down below. Next, we have finally made it to the end of the weddings. We are to the reception. And if you're thinking, Matt, I have all of these audio recorders and microphones and cables that I've purchased. Do I really need more for the reception? And the answer is yes, you do need more. And we're going to talk about it now. To start, a reception is going to be similar to a wedding ceremony in that 99% of receptions are going to have an amplified speaker system as well as a soundboard. And most of these soundboards are going to be run by a DJ. This soundboard is going to be really important to you because it's what you're going to plug into to record audio of the toasts at the wedding reception. I would not be concerned with recording music or anything like that at the reception unless it's a very important song that the couple's using for their first dance or something like that they wrote themselves and you need to make sure you record it. No. Your focus is going to be getting high quality audio of the toasts. Because of this, we're going to be more focused on the audio recorders and cables that you're going to want to use for plugging into the DJ soundboard. But just know that if it's a rare wedding where there is not a DJ or speaker system, or the DJ is, let's say, a bit hostile and does not want you to plug into the soundboard, which has happened to me multiple times before, in that case, because you have all of these Tascam DR10L Pro audio recorders, you can put them on anyone giving a speech and you'll be able to record high quality audio of them speaking that way. I've had that happen before where I was like, well, I can't plug into the soundboard, but it's okay because I can go over here to the 3 people speaking, you get a mic, you get a mic, you get a mic, got great audio that way. As for plugging into the DJ soundboard, I have good news. You're going to use the exact same setup that you use for the wedding ceremony. So the Tascam X8 audio recorder with the 3 audio cables that I recommended earlier. As long as you have those, you're going to be set up. And if you haven't paused the video yet to go check out the WhoisMatt audio pack that I made with Condor Blue, why haven't you done that? Take a minute, go do that, come back, it'll be fine. Now, we aren't done yet, and I'm sure you may be thinking, Matt, we've covered plugging into the DJ soundboard and recording audio from the mixer, but remember, I love backups, and we are not done talking about backups yet. We aren't even done talking about the audio recorders that I recommend yet, so strap in, we are not finished. First off, if you are plugging into a DJ soundboard to record audio for toasts, or this could also apply to you if you're recording audio from the ceremony, oftentimes the DJ is going to be using a wireless microphone receiver of some sort, and the back of this wireless microphone receiver is usually going to have an XLR and a 1/4 inch output. The DJ will usually use the XLR output, leaving the 1/4 inch output as a place that you can plug an audio cable and run that audio cable into your recorder. My recommendation to you is that you plug into both the DJ soundboard with one audio cable and the microphone receiver with another cable. Plugging into this microphone receiver, you're going to get an untouched audio feed directly from the microphone, and in the event that the DJ goes a little crazy and starts adding music in the background during the toast, which has happened to me before, or they start adding an echo or a reverb to the toast, which has also happened to me before, I've heard it all, having an extra audio cable plugged into the back of this microphone receiver can be a huge lifesaver for you. But I hear you now typing in the comments, Matt, I have bad news. Every single wedding that I've been to, I go back and I check that microphone receiver and it only has an XLR output. The DJ does not have one with 1/4 inch and the DJ is already using the XLR, so there's no way that I can use it. Well, I have a fantastic workaround for you. This is a device called a Whirlwind XLR splitter, and the entire purpose of this device is to enable you to split an XLR audio connection from one output to 2. So you can take an XLR cable and run it from the back of the wireless microphone receiver into this box here, to the input, and then you have 2 outputs. And so you can plug one XLR cable in here and give it to the DJ. You can plug the other XLR cable here, run it out to your microphone recorder, and it's awesome. This is a solid device. It does not require any external power, and it's well built and shielded from interference, so you can tell the DJ they don't need to worry about this screwing up their audio quality. They're going to appreciate that, believe me. You now have one backup taken care of. And as I told you earlier, we have another audio recorder to talk about, which means we have another backup to talk about. And this is one of my favorite backups by far. And once you start doing it, you're going to love it. And truthfully, you may end up using this source of audio over the source of audio that you record from the DJ's soundboard. Really. As one final backup, in the event that the DJ's wireless mic begins to cut out because of interference issues, which you would be surprised at how often that happens, I'm going to recommend you purchase one last audio recorder. And this audio recorder is actually a voice memo recorder, but it works amazingly for recording professional wedding audio as well, so I highly recommend it. This recorder is the Sony TX660, and it unfortunately does not record 32-bit float, but it is fantastic in virtually every other single way. First of all, it's tiny, it's slim. Look at how thin this thing is. The microphone is on top, you have controls, USB-C charging, it has a 22-hour battery life according to Sony, I've not officially tested it, and it has 16 gigabytes of internal memory. This thing is such a beast. It really is the ultimate audio backup, in my opinion. Did I mention it has a microphone input jack? Yeah, it has that too. It does it all. So how do you use it at a wedding reception? Do you just have the person speaking hold it like a microphone? Blah, blah, blah. No. Here is what you're going to do. You're going to pair the TX660 audio recorder with a special microphone sleeve that has been custom made for it. And this microphone sleeve is going to slide over the DJ's microphone, and I want you to pretend that this microphone is thicker because all the DJ's microphones I've ever used have been thicker than this one. This is just one that I have on hand. So slide on there, pretend it is snug, and then there's a little pocket here, and you slide the audio recorder into it, and check it out. Now you have this really compact all-in-one setup here where you can hold the microphone and the person speaking is going to also hold the recorder, and they're going to have it right by their mouth, so it's going to pick up great audio. In the event that there's microphone interference or anything like that, it's just going to be super clean and crisp. And it's amazing. Now, as far as this microphone sleeve in particular that you should use, there's actually a surprisingly large amount of options on Amazon these days because companies realize that videographers are using these as backups for weddings. So I will link to some of these microphone sleeves in my gear guide, but just know that if one of these sleeves is out of stock, just search for TX660 mic sleeve on Amazon and you'll see a lot of them. As an alternative though, in the event that you want a microphone sleeve with fuller coverage, I'm going to recommend the same microphone sleeve that I recommended whenever I made another audio guide 7 years ago. Yeah, it's been a while, so I'm finally making it now. The microphone sleeve I'm going to recommend is the basic black microphone sleeve from a company called Mic Effects. This will fully cover the microphone, so it looks a little bit cleaner in my opinion than some of the mic sleeves that are made custom for the TX660, and you can see how snug this is even on this thinner microphone. And then it's really stretchy, so you just slide the other microphone down in, and voila, look how slim that is. Looks really, really great. I prefer the look of this a little bit more. Regardless, I highly recommend using an external recorder like this anytime either you're recording toasts at a wedding, and like I said earlier, you may end up liking the audio better that you get from this recorder than the audio that you get from the DJ's microphone, because a voice recorder like this can pick up a lot more of the ambient sounds of the room and give you a fuller sounding voice, as well as you're going to be able to hear the crowd laughing or cheering in the background, which can really add to the ambiance of the wedding film. What's great too is that in a pinch, if you're at, say, the wedding ceremony and someone's going to be doing a scripture reading and it's really important, you can take this TX660 microphone and put it up on the podium next to where the person's speaking, and it's a super discreet way to make sure that you get audio. So don't be afraid to use this audio recorder as an extra backup whenever you need it. And speaking of something that you're going to need, if you have not downloaded my Wedding Filmmaker Gear Guide, which lists all of these audio recorders and microphones and cables, etc. that you need, what are you doing? It's completely free and linked down in the video description. Please check it out. And while you're down there, check out the WhoisMatt audio pack that I made in collaboration with Condor Blue, and get the pack or buy some individual cables or the organizer bag, whatever you need. And if you've made it all this way because you're a brand new wedding filmmaker and you're just getting started and you're wanting to know what audio gear to buy, I want you to know that I've created a free workshop titled How to Book Your First Wedding in 30 Days. And as the name implies, this workshop is going to be super helpful to you and show you the exact steps to take to book your first couple getting married. And spoiler too, even if you've already filmed some weddings before, this workshop is still going to be super helpful to you when it comes to future bookings. So you can click the link below to watch the workshop completely for free. With that, leave me a comment, let me know what else you want to see from me in regards to wedding filmmaking or anything else. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.